welcome back. I hope everyone is having a great day as always. It seems like a lifetime since I've given you guys an update on my Glock 45 MOS. And as usual, all firearms have been safety checked and are cleared. And per YouTube's guidance, I have to disclose I'm not receiving any kind of financial gain or influence on any of the brands on this channel. All firearms have been purchased by myself, including the ammunition. Having said that, we're going to talk about the Glock 45 MOS and my experience after thousands of rounds and many years later of owning this gun. Is it still relevant? Should you do an upgrade to the gun such as the Radian Afterburner Ramjet? I'm going to give you my opinions on this as well. Why you should or maybe you shouldn't add this to your Glock 45 MOS, or maybe you should move towards something that's a little newer throughout the years. This is the CZ Shadow 2 Compact. I'm going to mention this very briefly because both of these firearms I am still concealed carrying. After owning many different firearms on this channel, if you'd like to check out the channel and see them, you're more than welcome. It made me think about, why do I keep on going back to the Glock 45 MOS? And is it still relevant? With all the different firearms that are out there in today's world, is it still relevant? Hopefully I can answer that question, maybe provide you guys some insight from my experience and make you decide what you want. With that said, if you are new to this channel, my name is Jeff, and this is where I share my random passions with you guys. I do have a watch collection, hopefully a new timepiece coming in very soon, fingers crossed. Obviously, I have a firearm collection, and I'm also into cars. I currently have, and I know for everybody who's been on this channel for a while, I think I'm going to keep this one, right? So I have a 2020 Shelby GT500 1 of 28 in Grabber Lime. Absolutely stunning carbon fiber track pack. If you'd like to check it out, it's on the channel. But today, we're going to be talking about the Glock 45 MOS. And is it still relevant in today's world? It's pretty tough question for some people, right? There's so many options out there. Shadow Systems does amazing work. CZ does amazing work. I mean, the list goes on, right? So from my experience of having this firearm for many years and thousands of rounds later, I want to express to you what I think and why I do think it is still relevant, right? And maybe you want to upgrade to something like a Radian Afterburner for your Glock. And if you do, I'm going to give you my experiences with shooting the Glock 45 MOS with this. I was very shocked. I'm not going to say anything right now. We'll see in the footage of me shooting. I was hit or miss. I didn't know how I was going to feel, right? And also, I'm not going to talk a little bit about the CZ Shadow 2 Compact. And the reason why is because both of these firearms are still in my rotation for concealed carry, which led me to this upload. I started thinking, after all the firearms I've owned, which is a lot, you can check them all out on the channel, why do I keep on going back to my Glock 45 MOS? Let's just be very clear about this. Aesthetically, I don't think it looks that good. How it feels? Not too good. Trigger? Not the best. However, I shoot this gun very well, and it's extremely dependable. Simplicity seems to be a thing nowadays, right? So if you go back to the original Glocks all the way up to now, aesthetically, they haven't changed dramatically throughout the years. You end up having an option for putting in some kind of accessory as far as a light. Back then you didn't. They introduced front serrations throughout the years. And then, and throughout the years, they also had, your finger grips inside the handle. Then they took them off and brought them back. Bottom line is they haven't changed dramatically. Hence the Radiant Afterburner. I decided to give it a try. So when you're looking at this, it's going to be a fluted barrel. And yes, it's going to be very dirty. I haven't cleaned it since I shot it. And it's going to introduce a comp to your barrel. And this is where things are going to be kind of tricky for some people. So you can see the comp. So it's a little bit lighter. It is going to be apparently a more accurate barrel. And it's going to be longer. And it's not threaded for anybody that has states that are concerned about it being threaded, right? And this is in the bronze color. I bring that up because you have options, right? In some states, you can't have threaded barrels. So this is not threaded. And I don't want to get too far into it because I don't want to get flagged by YouTube. But I was really curious to see if it makes a big difference with the Glock 45 MOS. Having said that, the one thing you're going to notice is adding the Ramjet to the firearm. It's going to make it a full length, like a Glock 17. Does that mean anything to you? It's really up to you, right? For me, I prefer to have the Glock 45 MOS over something like the Glock 19 simply because the capacity is much longer. The mags are flush instead of adding a bigger mag to, say, your Glock 19, and I have big hands. So for me, it fits a lot better than having a Glock 19. And just like that, we are back. Been a few seconds for you guys and a few minutes for me. The Ramjet Afterburner is on the Glock 45 MOS. The first thing you're going to notice is going to be the length. It now becomes a Glock 17 full-size upper, and obviously the Glock 19X or the Glock 45 MOS, it has a full-size lower. So it is going to feel a little heavier as expected. It's going to feel a little front heavy, but I don't think you'll really notice that too much. The question is it worth it? Should you upgrade to this? Now that's going to really depend on you. Do you want to be able to carry a full-size now, a Glock 45 MOS? That may or may not hinder your ability to conceal carry depending on what you prefer. I was very shocked when I shot this. We're looking at the footage right now. It works flawlessly. It really does keep this gun much flatter, eyes on target a lot easier. And I was genuinely very, very shocked. It was the first time I shot any kind of Glock platform. I'd never shot any of the shadow systems with a comp. Matter of fact, aside from 1911s, the only comp I really shot was a P365X macro, which did work on that firearm. That firearm had some other issues that I was concerned about. If you want to check that out on the channel. Having said that, should you upgrade your Glock 45 MOS to the Ramjet? From my personal experience, I would highly recommend it. Not only did it keep the gun very flat, eyes on the target, but it's just a lot more pleasant to shoot. That said, it is louder, right? Anytime you have a type of a comp on the barrel, usually it is going to make it louder. I did notice that. So, and I'm comfortable carrying a full-size Glock 17 now as a concealed carry. And on occasion, I will rotate to my CZ Shadow 2. Now, when you're going from a double single action, a little more weight, so a single action firearm and a polymer, there is some slight training that it's going to vary how you shoot these firearms, right? With this having a safety on it, if you choose to use a safety on it, if you have it fully cocked or if you have it in a single chamber as far as being cocked, you don't have to worry about those things in the Glock 45 MOS. I only bring it up because, you know, they are two different platforms that you should get used to training with before you decide to rotate back and forth. Having said all that, the Radian Afterburner, I can't tell you enough, man. This design, they knocked it out of the park. Having said all that, I think that in the future this may be a variant of the Gen 6 Glock coming out. Kind of like the shadow systems. They incorporated, you know, comps in their platforms. I think Glock is going to follow suit, right? A lot of companies have been doing this. 1911s and other companies have been, you know, that style platform have been doing this for many years. So I think going forward, you're going to start seeing a lot more, especially the Gen 6 variant of the Glock. I think they're going to be incorporating this comp or one similar to it into their series of firearms. This could be, this design, right, with some tweaks, could be the new Glock 17 coming out. To my knowledge, they discontinued the Glock 17. So we'll see. But shooting this gun, as we're looking at this footage, I mean, I just couldn't get over it. I could not get over how much more flatter this gun shoots, you know, right off the bat. And as usual, I don't have any jams. I don't have any problems with my Glock 45 MOS. So I still think it's relevant. I still think with all the options out there right now, especially the price points are going to go up, right? That's just the way things are, materials and so on. Absolutely, I still think this gun is relevant. And if you're looking for a full-size carry instead of something that's a little bit smaller, for whatever personal reasons, I highly recommend it without a shadow of a doubt. And if you're going to do maybe upgrades to your firearm, I think this Afterburner Ramjet is spot on. I don't think you'll regret it whatsoever, unless, again, it becomes a full size while you're doing this, and it's not something you want to conceal carry. Maybe it's going to be a little cumbersome for you. So, guys, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. do you have the Ramjet on your Glock 45 or any of your Glocks? Let me know how it's shooting for you. Is it any problems with it so far? And any recommendation of any other firearms that you would think would be a great option for concealed carry with a comp. I don't think it's something that's priority. I think, as long as you're training safely and you're very comfortable with the firearm that you're using, a comp may be irrelevant. Anyway, you guys like, share, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for tagging along, and I'll see you at the next upload.